Hello guys. First, we're going to create a resource group. To do that, we can go here and search resource groups. Go ahead and click on create. We're going to simply call our resource group student lab, and you need to make note of where you're putting it in the region, and then click review and create. Validation pass. Click create. Once you're done, it'll take you to this page, and that is the creation of a resource group. Next, we're going to create a virtual network. So you can click on virtual networks, or you can search. Difference here though, we want to put it into our student lab, and then the name of our virtual network is going to be called student network. All your resources need to go into the same location. Let's go here and check out this. Go ahead and click review and create. After you review and create, you'll come to this page. We just want to go back to the home page. The next thing we want to do is we want to make our domain controller. So we're going to go to virtual machines. We're going to click on create an Azure virtual machine. In here, let's not make it too complicated. Let's just click on our resource group. We want everything to go into our student lab, our virtual machine. I'm going to call mine Server 2019. When it comes to availability zones and options, I don't want infrastructure redundancy. This is just a simple lab that I'm building, so I don't need redundancy. We don't need to pay for it if we don't need it. We're just going to go with standard. We're going to go with this image, and it changed it, you see, but it's okay. For this, we want to go here, this right here, standard V2s. Username, I'm calling mine Azure admin. You call yours whatever you want. Make sure you make up your super secret password. We want to allow these selected ports open to the internet so we can connect to the machine. Next, let's click on disks. The things that I like to change in here is this. Let's just go to standard, delete the VM, then we're going to go here. Auto populates, which is fine. That's how we want it. What I do like to do is make sure that we clean up after ourselves when we're done with our lab. The next thing that we want to do is come over here to monitoring and just disable the boot diagnostics. It's not a big deal. And then we can go here and click review and create. Once your resource is deployed, let's go to the resource and let's copy our public IP, and then we want to open up remote desktop. We're going to go ahead and just copy paste that. We need to specify our username that we made in the portal. Let's save the credentials. I always do, and then connect. So you'll be connected to your server, and we want to do some things here. The first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and download BG info from the sysinternal suite. So once you extract it, you want to go ahead and run the 64 version. Agree to your license terms. Just click OK and watch what happens. You see, we have all of our information here, which is nice to have this here. You know, even our username, right? Our IP. Now we want to configure our services. We want to go to Server Manager. Inside Server Manager, we want to click Add Roles and Features, and then the wizard will begin. We want to skip this page by default every time from here on out though. We're going to do a role-based feature installation. It's going to select our server that we need. Click Next. Next, we want to click Active Directory Domain Services. We want to check mark that box. It's going to select all of our features that we need. Click Next. And then we're just going to next to it. Just Next. Install. Now we're going to promote the server to the domain controller. We're going to click Add a New Forest. My root domain is going to be, we're going to click Next. On this page, we just need to fill out our password, and then we're going to click Next. And then here, we just want to click Next. It's going to auto. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to configure certificate services for our Active Directory. So what we need to do is go ahead and click on Add Roles and Features, and then we're going to click the rule-based. It's a role-based feature again, and we're just going to click through this next. We've been through this before. The only thing that changes is we're gonna click this one right here. Okay, add features, and then you want to click next, and then we're just going to click next through this and next through this. We want to make sure that this option is selected. It automatically is. We click through next, and then we're going to click this too. It's always good to do a restart when we do things like this, and then click install, and then let that go ahead and run that installation really quick. And we will click notifications bar and we want to configure certificate services on the destination server. So, yep, click next, click next. We want an enterprise CA. We want it to be a root CA. We want to create a new private key. Let's go ahead and keep that, just keep it default. Keep all of our defaults right. Next, here, this is where the only thing we want to change. We want 99 years. Click configure. Now we're going to create a share. So we're going to go inside of our file explorer and we want to go to this PC, Windows, and then right here inside of the Windows folder, we're just going to make a new folder and we're going to call it Hack It or Hack Me, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it Hack It. Get it? Capital IT as in IT. So now we're going to create a new share. So we're going to go back into our server manager. Over here, we want to go to File and Storage Services. And then we want to click on Shares. Underneath Tasks, we want to click New Share. We're going to go with the quick option. And then we're going to type custom path. And we want to browse to where we made that folder to hack it. And select it. We're going to click Next. And then we're just going to stick with defaults for everything. Next, next, create, close. We're going to exit that. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create some users and some groups. To do that, we're going to go ahead and open Server Manager. We're going to come up here to, I think it's Tools, Users and Computers. We want to click on our domain. We want to create a new organizational unit. We're going to call it Groups. Click OK. And then we're going to take all these users except for admin and guest. Control A and then hold Control and then unselect them too. Click cut, and then we're going to go inside this group and we're going to paste all those that we cut, and then we want to come back in here and we're going to create some more users. So new user, I'm going to use someone from my community, my buddy Alien. We're going to give him a simple logon name as Alien. And next we got to make it a super strong password, super secure strong password. Inside the password box, we're going to go ahead and uncheck this and make sure that we check password never expires, and then click next and then click finish. Another user, so new user, and this time I'm gonna use my buddy Martian. Same thing, uncheck the password, check password never expires, and give your user a super secure strong password. Click next and then click finish. And then next we want to make one more user, and this user is going to be called a service principal. Give it a logon name of this. Uncheck. Check that, give it a super secret strong password, then click next and then finish. Now we've created all them users, and then for this user we're going to put some properties in it and the description, and then click OK. And then we're going to run command prompt as administrator. We're going to use set spn -a name of your domain and the service principal. In my case it'd be BUBBYHAXZ.local, and then we're going to use port 60,111 to set the way that it logs on, push enter, and then you know you have a success. It says object is updated. If you didn't have a success, it wouldn't do it. But to double check your work, you can run this next command. So we're going to run this next command with set spn -T, which is the target that you are declaring the service principal on. And then we're going to use the -Q. I think it stands for query. And then we're going to use the wild characters. And you look down here, it's what we set. With that, we can go ahead and disconnect from this computer. We're pretty much done with our domain controller. We've got our users set up, our service principal set up, and we have also created our Active Directory for us and our certificate services. Back here in the portal, we want to go ahead and create our two Windows clients that we made our users. They got to have computers, right? So we're going to go to virtual machines, and you guys remembered how we did it, so we're going to click create. Same thing, I don't want no redundancy, no infrastructure redundancy, just so I can save a little bit. And I want to use this guy right here, standard B2s, and this is where we want our user and our password that we created for our users. We want to click this and then on disk. Same thing, we want to clean up after ourselves when we delete, so check that. Standard SSDs, this will auto populate for you and it's fine. We want to go here and remember that we want to delete when we do delete our lab. Review and create it. While that deployment is in process, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create Martian's machine, and then see one of our deployments is already deployed, so we can copy its IP and get into RDP. And this was Alien. The alien's computer, we want to connect to our domain. We want to go to Network Discovery and turn it on. So then we'll disconnect. We want to go inside Martian's machine, and we want to turn on the Network Discovery. Do the same thing inside that machine. I'm going to pause the video for all of that. Now what we want to do is, next we need to open the network and internet settings, and we want to change the properties to our adapter options. We're going to select this option. We're going to select and change properties. We want to select TCP IP and then properties. Here we want to select use the following DNS server address and then click save. We want to do the same thing for Martian, and it'll disconnect you. You have to restart from the portal again. Down there in the search bar, let's just type access for work, and this is what we're looking for. We're going to click connect. We're going to use join this device to a local Active Directory domain. Type in your domain. It's going to require your administrator password. The Azure admin. We're going to make it administrator until it next. Until it restart. We're going to do the same thing to Martian's computer. And at the search bar, just once again, access work. It's popping up for us. Select that. Click on connect, just like we did on the last one. Local Active Directory. And it will require the administrator password once again. Make Azure admin an administrator. And tell it next. And restart that computer. And now we have got everything connected to the domains. We've got our Active Directory set up. Now, if we log into our server, we will see them two computers are connected to our domains. So let's go ahead and do that. Inside, we can just go right here to Administrative Tools, Active Directory Users, and Computers. And if we look here in computers, here's our computers. Let's go to, and let's try and manage this, see what happens. So we want to go to local users inside of computer management, local users and groups, double click administrators. And here we want to add, and we're going to use, and then we're going to add one more. Click OK. That we are done with this one. And then we're going to go into Martian's machine. We're going to do the same thing, computer management, users, groups, administrators, double click. Kali is in Azure. You're going to go here to virtual machines, create another virtual machine. We need the student lab, Nightmare Kelly. We go here and delete. Make sure it's delete with the VM, standard, and then monitoring, disable. You can create your final validation there. And then click create, and then we could go ahead and open our terminal, and there we are, and with Kali. And now we're going to run NetDiscover on the default gateway. After Kali Linux deploys, you'll want to log in and run sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade, since it's the first time you've installed it in the cloud in Azure. And then after that, you want to run sudo apt install netdiscover. And then after you install netdiscover, if you run sudo netdiscover on your default gateway, it will bring up your machines. Here they are. And that is how you set up an ethical hacking lab in Azure Cloud using free services. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching Bubby Hacks. Subscribe if you want more content from Mr. Bubby Hacks.